The glittering world of global pop music often appears to be a flawless tapestry of synchronized choreography, harmonious voices, and unbreakable bonds forged under the intense heat of modern stardom. We watch these meticulously assembled groups take the stage, marveling at their chemistry and celebrating their rapid ascent to the top of the charts. Yet behind the flashing cameras, the sold-out arenas, and the perfectly curated social media feeds, a different reality often unfolds. The pressure to maintain an immaculate public image while managing the grueling demands of the entertainment industry can create cracks in even the most solid foundations. It is within these hidden spaces, away from the adoring screams of millions of fans, that the true drama of modern celebrity is written, when a group is marketed as a family, bound together by shared dreams and collective ambition. Any sign of discord can send shockwaves through a global community of supporters who have invested their hearts and time into their journey. This delicate illusion of perfect harmony was thrust into the spotlight just last month when the sensationally popular girl group KATSEYE made a highly anticipated announcement that should have been a moment of pure celebration for their massive, dedicated audience. They revealed the official dates and promotional artwork for their upcoming worldwide concert tour, an event that was supposed to solidify their status as a dominant force in the international music landscape. However, as the promotional poster circulated across social media platforms, an unsettling detail immediately caught the eyes of their fiercely loyal followers. A familiar and beloved face was noticeably absent from the vibrant imagery. The pop band, which had captured the imagination of listeners around the globe as a dynamic six-member powerhouse, was suddenly presented as a quintet. This unexpected visual confirmation sent an immediate chill through the fandom, seemingly validating the growing anxieties that had been bubbling beneath the surface for weeks. The sudden transformation of the group down to just 5 active members followed the bombshell news of a high-profile hiatus that had already begun to alter the internal dynamics of the collective. The individual at the center of this burgeoning mystery was none other than the charismatic 23-year-old Swiss-born performer, Manon Bannerman. Her sudden departure from the group's active lineup was a move that completely shattered the public perception of an apparently tight-knit sisterhood. For months, fans had watched these young women grow together, overcoming immense challenges to achieve their ultimate goals. To see one of the cornerstone members suddenly airbrushed out of the group's future plans was a jarring realization that something profound was shifting behind closed doors. It raised a multitude of questions that the official press releases simply could not satisfy, leaving an international audience searching for answers in every social media update and public appearance. This troubling development was a far cry from the heartwarming narrative that had been presented to the public just a few months prior. Back in December, the atmosphere surrounding the group had seemed entirely celebratory and full of unyielding optimism. Bannerman herself had shared a deeply personal reflection on her Instagram account, where she regularly connects with millions of admirers. In that emotional post, the young artist had gushed over her fellow bandmates, expressing a sense of profound disbelief and gratitude that they were all getting to fulfill their lifelong dreams on the grandest stage imaginable. The message had been filled with warmth and a sense of permanent camaraderie, famously signing off with the affectionate phrase, "Cats forever." That public declaration of unity had reassured fans that despite the immense pressures of their rapid rise to fame, the bond between the members remained unbreakable. It established a standard of sisterhood that made the subsequent silence all the more difficult for the public to comprehend. The narrative took a dramatic and unexpected turn a mere 2 months after that public display of affection. In a sudden announcement that caught the music industry by surprise, it was revealed that Bannerman, who stands out not only for her immense talent, but also as the only black member of KATSEYE, would be stepping back from her demanding responsibilities with the group. The official explanation provided by the management was brief and familiar, stating that she needed to prioritize her health and well-being. While such statements are common in the fast-paced world of entertainment, the lack of specific details and the absolute secrecy surrounding her sudden hiatus sparked widespread confusion and a massive backlash from the group's protective fandom. In the absence of clear communication from the record labels, the community began to look deeper into the situation, with some online commentators and fans openly speculating that systemic issues, or even subtle forms of prejudice and exclusion, might be influencing the decision behind the scenes. As the weeks turned into months, The situation only grew more complicated and emotionally charged for everyone involved. What was initially presented to the global audience as a brief and necessary temporary break to allow an exhausted artist to recuperate began to snowball into a prolonged absence. This prolonged withdrawal has now stretched to 4 full months, during which Bannerman has been noticeably missing from some of the most prestigious and high-profile performances of the group's career. The remaining 5 members have been forced to navigate massive live events without her presence, including their critically acclaimed set at the legendary Coachella Music Festival in April, as well as a major appearance at the Governor's Ball in New York City earlier this month. Each high-profile performance that took place without her served as a stark, visual reminder of her ongoing isolation from the brand she helped build. Raising the stakes and intensifying the scrutiny from the public, the visual exclusion of the singer from the promotional material for the upcoming sold-out Wild World Tour, which is officially slated to kick off this coming September, feels to many observers like a definitive turning point in this ongoing saga. It suggests that her absence is not merely a temporary bump in the road, but rather a long-term structural change that could dictate the future trajectory of the entire project. For a group that has achieved such monumental success in a remarkably short period, the question of whether they can sustain their momentum while missing a vital piece of their original identity remains a subject of intense debate. If you want to stay informed as this captivating story unfolds and find out what really happened behind the scenes of this global phenomenon, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this and other breaking entertainment stories. As we prepare to dive deeper into the hidden conflicts, industry pressures, and exclusive insider revelations that are currently defining the fate of KATSEYE, the line between public image and private reality continues to blur, setting the stage for a dramatic exploration of modern pop stardom that you will not want to miss. As the enigmatic absence of Manon Bannerman continues to dominate the conversations of music enthusiasts across the globe, the remaining 5 members of KATSEYE have found themselves thrust into an intense and accelerated reality. While their missing sister remains secluded from the public eye, the group has forged ahead as a quintet, experiencing an era of record-breaking success that has surprised both industry veterans and their most optimistic supporters. To the casual observer watching from afar, the transition might appear seamless, characterized by flawless choreography, dazzling outfits, and an ever-growing list of accolades. However, beneath this polished veneer of unstoppable momentum, a far more complicated and tense narrative is unfolding behind the scenes. A prominent insider close to the situation has recently stepped forward to share a series of exclusive insights with the media, shedding light on the quiet friction that has begun to define the daily operations of this international pop sensation. According to this knowledgeable source, the reality of the situation is far more permanent than the official public relations statements would lead the public to believe. The insider revealed that what was originally described to the fan base as a temporary break intended for physical and mental rejuvenation has increasingly started to feel like something much bigger and potentially irreversible. Behind closed doors, away from the glittering stages and the cheering crowds, the internal dynamics of the group have been severely tested. The other young women in the band have reportedly voiced significant frustrations regarding the operational standards within the collective. Specifically, murmurs have emerged behind the scenes that the absent singer was simply not putting in the same level of rigorous effort and dedication as everyone else during their grueling preparation periods. Whether that assessment is entirely fair or not, given the immense pressure they all face, those shared feelings have created undeniable tension and have deeply strained the profound emotional bond they once proudly displayed to the world. To fully understand the gravity of this growing divide, one must consider the unique nature and ambitious architecture of the group itself. KATSEYE was meticulously designed and marketed from its very inception as the world's first truly global girl group. This ambitious title was not merely a marketing gimmick, but a literal reflection of the diverse backgrounds of its members, who hail from various corners of the earth including the Philippines, South Korea, Switzerland, and the United States. The group rose to international prominence after forming on the highly competitive reality television show, The Debut, Dream Academy. This groundbreaking project was a massive collaborative venture created by the legendary South Korean entertainment powerhouse HYBE and the renowned American label Geffen Records. The final lineup was carefully selected to represent a new era of cross-cultural pop music, featuring the exceptional talents of Daniela Avanzini, Yoon Chae-jung, Sofia La Forteza, Lara Raj, and Megan Skiandiel, alongside the now-absent Swiss performer. Together, they fast took the world by storm, breaking traditional cultural barriers and capturing a global audience almost instantly. The early months of the year marked an incredible high point for the newly formed collective, solidifying their status as a legitimate musical phenomenon. They delivered a breathtaking performance of their breakout hit song, Gnarly, at the prestigious Grammy Awards, a massive milestone for any artist, let alone a group so early in their career. Their artistic credibility was further validated when they earned two highly coveted nominations for Best New Artist and Best Pop Duo or Group Performance. It was right at this pinnacle of professional validation and widespread media attention that the shocking announcement regarding the sudden hiatus was dropped on the public. The source close to the project explains that the decision to implement the break was originally intended to give everyone involved some much-needed breathing room and to effectively reset the emotional mood of the group after months of non-stop work and high-stakes pressure. However, this strategic maneuver appears to have backfired in an unexpected way, as the remaining 5 members quickly adapted and found a brand new operational rhythm without her. This newly discovered cohesion has changed the entire calculus of a potential reunion. The insider noted that as the 5 active members continued their intense schedule, they unexpectedly got back on track, their interpersonal chemistry vastly improved, and they became noticeably more comfortable operating as the quintet they are today. This unexpected development now creates a highly awkward situation for the management and the artists alike, making it look as though there is very little urgency or genuine interest in bringing the original member back into the fold. The group's subsequent triumphs have only reinforced this new reality. They took the stage for a smashing, critically acclaimed set at the legendary Coachella Music Festival, ultimately scoring the most streamed performance during the first weekend of the entire star-studded event. They followed this triumph with a spectacular appearance at the American Music Awards, where they delivered a lively performance of their new material and took home 3 massive awards, including New Artist of the Year, proving that their commercial viability was completely unhindered by the lineup change. The true turning point in this musical evolution came with the release of their chart-topping single, Pinky Up, which marked their very first official musical offering recorded and promoted entirely without the participation of the missing vocalist. The track resonated instantly with the public, climbing rapidly to number 28 on the highly competitive Billboard Hot 100 chart. The visual presentation for the single achieved astronomical success as well, with the official music video accumulating over 57 million views on YouTube within a matter of weeks, while the audio track was streamed more than 141 million times on Spotify. This impressive run established the track as the longest-charting song on the Hot 100 from an all-female group this year, a testament to the unwavering loyalty of their listeners and the sheer strength of their current production. With their highly anticipated extended play record titled Wild, officially slated for global release on the 14th of August, the industry momentum shows no signs of slowing down, as the upcoming record has already secured its place as one of the most pre-saved albums in the history of the Spotify platform, as the active quintet secures their place at the top of the music industry. Securing a highly coveted spot on the lineup of pop superstar Olivia Rodrigo's upcoming all-female Daisy and Shane Fields Music Festival in California, the digital world has become a battleground of subtle hints and escalating rumors. The absent performer's social media activity has served as fuel for the fire, drawing intense analysis from thousands of amateur internet detectives. She recently turned heads within the community when she actively liked a poignant Instagram post from a prominent pop culture commentator. The commentary explicitly claimed that the young Swiss artist was the unfortunate victim of abhorrent hate due to her skin color, and went on to argue that black members of mixed-race musical groups are historically subjected to unique forms of institutional prejudice and racism. This digital interaction was viewed by many as a silent confirmation of her internal frustrations regarding the environment she left behind, casting a dark shadow over the group's public messages of universal harmony and sisterhood. The subtle digital warfare did not stop there, escalating further when the singer shared a personal photograph on her own social media account that many interpreted as a direct jab at her former bandmates. The image depicted a close friend traveling alongside her on a commercial aircraft, playfully holding her pinky finger upwards at a very specific, deliberate angle. Given the global success of the group's current anthem, Pinky Up, the online community immediately erupted with accusations of deliberate shade and passive-aggressive behavior, with followers openly calling out the post in the comment section. Yet, the official narrative provided by the corporate entities involved remains completely at odds with the actions of the individual at the center of the storm. While the powerful executives at HYBE continue to maintain the stance that she is simply on a necessary medical hiatus for physical and emotional recuperation, the artist herself took to the specialized fan application Weverse to deliver a fiercely independent and contradictory message, asserting that she is in fine health and taking care of herself, leaving the global audience completely bewildered about who to believe as the tension reaches a critical breaking point. The profound confusion among the global audience deepened significantly when observers noticed another major structural shift on the digital landscape, one that seemed to signal a definitive break from the past. On her official Instagram account, where she commands an incredibly massive and highly influential audience of over 6 million dedicated followers, the young artist quietly removed all references to the group from her personal biography. In the modern ecosystem of the international music industry, where a single line in a social media profile serves as an official declaration of an artist's professional status, this silent omission spoke volumes to an already anxious fandom. It sparked immediate fears across online platforms that her departure was not merely a temporary recess for physical exhaustion, but a permanent exit from the collective she had worked so hard to build from the ground up. Yet, even as these digital clues pointed toward a complete and final severance, her individual messages to fans on the specialized communication application Weverse attempted to paint a completely different and far more optimistic picture. In a direct and heartfelt note addressed to her global supporters, she explicitly stated that she was healthy, doing exceptionally well, and actively taking care of her own physical and mental welfare, while adding a cryptic message about trusting a much bigger picture when events unfold in ways that are outside of individual control. This stark, undeniable contradiction between corporate explanations of a medical recovery, her personal assurances of perfect health, and the systematic erasure of the group's name from her public identity has left the international community trapped in a state of perpetual speculation, trying to decipher the true nature of an internal conflict that no one seems willing to openly explain to the public, while the absent singer navigates her complex reality away from the cameras. The remaining 5 members of the collective have made a highly visible and calculated effort to project an image of absolute solidarity and unshakable sisterly affection to the world. During a high-profile promotional tour through Australia last month, the active quintet shared numerous lighthearted photographs and videos documenting an emotional bonding trip to a local zoo where they were seen laughing, embracing, and holding stuffed koala toys as a tightly unified family. This public demonstration of joy was carefully designed to reassure the market and the consumers that the core spirit of the group remained completely intact despite the swirling controversies. This carefully constructed narrative of unity faced its most awkward and challenging hurdle just recently during a major cultural event in Los Angeles, where the remaining members were spotted enjoying a night out at pop icon Ariana Grande's highly publicized concert tour. Fans quickly captured mobile phone footage of the 5 young women dancing and singing together in the crowd, presenting the ultimate picture of a thriving, happy collective. However, the illusion of complete resolution was shattered within hours when it emerged that the missing vocalist was actually present at the exact same concert stadium on that very night. Instead of joining her longtime bandmates in their designated area, she was seated in an entirely separate luxury section of the arena, surrounded by her own circle of prominent friends, including the internationally acclaimed musician The Kid Laroi. This physical separation at the same venue served as a powerful visual metaphor for the massive emotional and professional distance that now exists between the artist and the group, proving to onlookers that the division is far deeper than any coordinated social media post could ever hope to conceal. This undeniable distance has led prominent industry insiders to speculate that all involved parties may have already quietly accepted this new configuration as the permanent reality moving forward for the brand. A source close to the inner workings of the management company suggested that behind the corporate facade, there is a growing sense of relief and acceptance regarding the current five-member dynamic, with several individuals feeling completely satisfied with how the group is currently functioning on a day-to-day basis. The reality of the modern entertainment business dictates that highly manufactured global pop groups rarely sustain their original lineups indefinitely, as individual artists eventually begin to look towards solo endeavors, personal branding, and the next lucrative stages of their respective careers. According to this perspective, the current trajectory without the participation of the Swiss performer is a direction that everyone within the active core has integrated into their long-term plans. While the remaining members may continue to state in public interviews that they will always view each other as sisters, the objective reality of the situation shows that as more time passes and the logistical separation grows wider, the practical likelihood of a full-scale reunion fades into near impossibility, leaving the group to carve out a highly successful future as a quintet. However, this narrative of a clean and mutual separation is fiercely contested by those who are closest to the singer herself, who paint a picture of an artist caught in a frustrating struggle against how she has been framed by the media and her own management structure. An intimate source from her inner circle has insisted that she has absolutely no desire to leave the band permanently and remains deeply committed to her identity as an original member of the collective. According to this alternative viewpoint, much of her current frustration stems from her controversial portrayal in the widely watched Netflix documentary series, Pop Star Academy, which detailed the intense and grueling behind-the-scenes creation of the group. On the documentary program, while her fellow contestants boasted extensive foundational backgrounds in professional singing and technical dancing, she entered the competition primarily with experience as a fashion model. This difference in background led to scenes where she was frequently shown being ranked at the bottom by the panel of judges, alongside serious accusations from producers that she was regularly missing essential group rehearsals. While she is fully aware of the public criticism generated by these episodes, her close allies argue that she brings an irreplaceable asset to the group as the member who is most inherently connected to the desires of the modern audience, thanks to her highly successful pre-existing background as a digital influencer. From her perspective, the current break was not a surrender, but a deliberate opportunity to pause, assess the intense wave of public scrutiny, and carefully plan her next professional steps within an industry that has not always protected her image from harsh criticism. The delicate balance between public diplomacy and private tension was perfectly illustrated during a high-profile media appearance on The Zane Lowe Show, where the remaining members were directly questioned about the ongoing status of their missing teammate. Confronted with the topic on an international platform, the young women chose to respond with overwhelming positivity and words of deep affection, carefully avoiding any mention of internal disputes or operational disagreements. They emphasized their universal desire to see each other succeed and live well, with prominent members publicly reaffirming that she would remain their sister forever, while asking the fan base to grant her all the privacy, space, and love she requires during this delicate period of her transition. Yet, while the artists themselves continue to deliver these beautifully diplomatic statements, industry experts and commentators are pointing out that this period of evasion must soon come to an inevitable end. An insider close to the